6,000 years later. 6.5 hours later. A few inches later. Day 2, day 3, day 4. A few moments later.
Okay. We get it. It's been forever. So let me do this. It's been a while.
I gotta.
Oh, gosh, it's hard on the throat. But we made it. We made it back to podcast land.
Whoa.
Literally 100 days later. Welcome back to the Stretch It Out podcast.
Taking all the cobwebs off my computer, my mic. Woo.
We made it. We
did, just in time.
Is it just in time? Is that the right?
Just in time for 2021 February.
February?
January doesn't count.
Okay.
So, also, I came into the closet just to give you guys a rundown. Hi, Rio. I came into the closet.
I can hear Rio.
Because Rio was snoring, and now he is in the closet with me. So okay, he wants to be a part of the podcast.
Yeah, everybody loves podcast land, even dogs.
Yes, he does. He just.
What's up, Rio?
I'm sure you guys.
I feel like he's in the room with me because I've got the headphones on, and he seems like a really heavy breather. So this is awesome.
That's just him breathing normally too.
Is that? Wow, it seems like a lot of work for him to just be alive. That poor guy.
He was snoring, so that's why I came into the closet, and literally right just now as we finished the music and he just starts walking in. I'm like, dang it, I should have shut the door.
Well, we're happy to have him.
Guest speaker, guys.
So, yeah, always good to have a guest speaker. This is wow, episode what episode is this? I mean, it's been 28 of the Stretch It Out podcast. Wow. So 28 episodes, and it took us, I think, 3 years to get there, but it's been a journey.
1,000 years later.
We I don't even know what to say. Like we had some things happen, right? Some pretty tragic things. And then 2020 has been just 2020, right? 2020 was rough. Glad to be in 2020
just wasn't the year, but I will say, just correcting the perspective is, I think we had it a lot better than most other people.
Amen.
You know?
Amen.
So always remind yourself of that, and especially seeing what other people went through, especially during COVID and politics and everything like that. So we still had it pretty easy compared to others.
Yes. Amen. There's a lot of people out there. I mean, really struggling right now, right?
Yeah.
The struggle is real for so many. So yeah, I think for those that are still listening,
I think we have to go back out and
thank you.
Get some listeners again. They don't know we're active.
No, it was just, things got crazy, and our schedules. I wanted to be the first to publicly congratulate you in podcast land on your new home. Audrey got a house, and it's a super big deal. I don't have the sound effects thing to do, the people cheering. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of that.
Yeah.
There you go. Is that scatting that you're doing? We get to hear you scat now?
I don't know. I was doing it on the way home, and I was kind of doing it at the office, and it's just kind of carried into podcast land now, like scoobity bop.
All right. I like it.
Little snap.
I like it. You're really getting into that. That's pretty cool.
No, thank you. So for the listeners, partially as to why Podcastland was put off for so long was
no internet.
Yeah. Well, one, I had no internet. Well, the first half was we were because we were supposed to have another house, and obviously that fell through. So we had to continue to search again for another house. And in that time, one of our dear friends let us kind of bum a room off of him because we didn't want to go and get an apartment and sign a lease for a year. So he let us stay with him, and that was kind of started to become difficult. I think I did like 1 or maybe 2 episodes there, but it was kind of hard because it was his house and he always had friends over and it was super loud. And then I started working again, thank God, which I love my job.
Amen. Amen.
Right? Started that whole thing. So then seeing that we had, Nick and I had the time change, we had to try and work around that. And then that's when we had no internet because our friend chose not to, he didn't want internet anymore. So and that was just a random thing. He came home and was like, I got tired of paying for shitty internet. Like, oh,
nice.
Okay. So that was like the last month. And then we finally got our home and we've been doing all sorts of things to it. And it took me about a total of 12 hours to set up the internet because I didn't want to pay somebody $100 to come out and do it when I knew I could do it somehow.
And so it totally worked out in your favor, right? It only cost you 12 hours of your life and you saved yourself $100. So
exactly. We're on a budget now.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on who's solving that equation, if that was really in your favor or not.
Like, so how much do I get paid an hour? What's an hourly rate for me?
Yeah. Time is valuable too, but yeah, I get it. I totally get it. No, but seriously, congrats to you and to Marcelo. Is he okay with me saying his name on the podcast? Do I got to go back and take that out?
No.
Okay. Yeah,
sure,
good. Because I wasn't going to anyway.
He probably doesn't even listen. I don't know.
Yeah, find out if he's still listening. Let's start with that. No, but congrats to you guys. That's super cool. I already told you, I think, a million times how excited I am for you guys. So I was super excited. I remember when I got my first house with Courtney, it's just like a really big deal, right? So
yeah.
So super cool that you guys get to do that. What else is going on in your world, Audrey? What's 2021 looking like for you? Corrective perspective, is that still a thing?
Yeah, it is still a thing.
Good.
Day in and day out, especially bringing that into a new work environment and trying to adjust to how that, how this company operates and being very fluid. My new thing is in 2020 we actually had a friend of ours they were getting married in Cancun, and obviously COVID happened, so everything got canceled. But because this is like me trying to correct my perspective, even though I'm trying real hard. You know how travel agencies are. So they gave us a credit, and so our friends are now rebooking their hotel or their wedding for Cancun, and Expedia is just giving us the runaround of, oh, you got credits, but you can't use your credits on that.
Gotta love it.
So, and that's been my whole thing this past week. Outside of work and outside of the house, I'm trying to stay really positive with that and
good.
Seeing why do they do that to people? Who would be so evil?
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes sometimes, that's how it goes. Yeah. So,
but if that's all I got to complain about, I mean, come on. Life's pretty dang good then.
That's right. Same here. I'm trying to keep it positive. I gotta be honest though, I've been struggling.
Right?
And yeah, I've been struggling, and I was like debating, like, do I want to talk about that? Because then it's like, I don't want to like have a feel sorry for Nick hour,
Well, it's okay because it's only 30 minutes long, so you're fine.
Yeah, amen. And we just hit the 10-minute mark. So I think but I thought about it and I was like, I should probably share it. One, because I think it helps me, right? Like selfishly, just to like talk about it a little bit. But two, I think there's a lot of people out there that probably are struggling too, right?
Yeah.
And the cool thing about Podcastland is when you're recording these episodes and stuff, like we don't know where they'll end up in 10, 15, 20 years. Somebody could be, I don't know, looking
Somebody
through
could be-
really old podcasts and just like, oh, look at this. This is weird. Stretch It Out podcast looks like a really low budget podcast. Let's check it out. And maybe they come across this, right? And they go 100. What did I name it? What is this one going to be called? 100 days later.
Yeah.
Interesting. But maybe they stumble across this, right? And maybe they're struggling, with just life. And, I don't think none of us are really like immune to that entirely. I think we're all going to struggle, and some days are going to be better than others, and some days are going to be kind of crappy. And that's that's why we're selling what we're selling, right? We're not selling it; we're giving it away for free, but we call it corrective perspective. But that's what it is. And I've been guilty of not taking my own advice and letting myself get real down and focusing on the negative. And the other day I actually had like I don't know what you would call it. I don't know, panic attack or you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it wasn't like a panic attack. I think
maybe it was like an anxiety.
Yeah, it was like anxiety, but then I don't know, kind of like I don't know what to call it, but I think you know what I'm talking about, right? Like we all, I don't want to assume that everybody goes through that, but it was rough, and it's hard sometimes because it came on like really early in the morning, and I got Courtney and the kids are still at the house, and I definitely don't want them to see me like that, and then my first calls that I get on in the morning are pretty early, so it's just a weird, and it was a weird situation. But all that to say, it sucked, and I had to really kind of gather my thoughts and really be intentional about that corrective perspective that we always talk about.
Yeah.
And I think there's I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say, hey, it was crappy. It's been rough for me. It hasn't been all, what do they say? Sunshine and rainbows.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been able to kind of focus on the right things. I think doing the podcast has always been something that's really helped me, right? I enjoy getting to hang out with my baby sis. I think you enjoy hanging out with me a little bit. I think there's a little bit of joy hidden in there, but I enjoy our time together, right?
I enjoy it so much. I left work early for you. That's how.
And I can't thank you enough, right? Because it's like, what time is it here? 8:40 my time. It's pretty late. I'm usually in bed, asleep in the next 18 minutes. So
will he make it, folks?
Yeah, let's see. But I'm saying that I wanted to share that because I think it's important for people that I think that are struggling and like with whatever, right? Anxiety, depression, whatever it is that's messing with your mental health or your perspective. I really do think it does help to talk about it. And I'm so blessed to have Courtney as my wife and best friend, because she is like, it sounds so cliche to say that, but she's my rock, right? She is my Dwayne Johnson.
That is not a cliche thing because nobody.
It sounds like it. I guess it felt like it when I was saying it, but she really is. She is my rock, and I can't really put into words who she is to me. Is just like, I don't know, like I really can't describe it, but it's like next level stuff, right? And if she ever listens again, thank you so much, Courtney, because seriously, she I have her saved in my phone as my world. And in moments like this, when life gets really tough, sometimes I'm reminded of really why she really is that to me. And so I'm just so grateful for her. She's the one that's been encouraging me, throughout, with different challenges, different things going on right now. And it's just like, wow, like I'm just so blessed to have her. So, I'm just grateful for her, encouraging me, supporting me. I've given her every reason to just, like kind of kick me to the curb, if you will, like just, let me go sit in a corner and cry, if you will. But she just won't. She's just, she's just
she's
there,
like that. She's that type of woman that will, she doesn't let you just sit there and wallow. She pulls you out of it.
Exactly.
No matter how annoying it can be for her to stop what she's doing to pull somebody else out of a slump, but to her, it seems that it's just automatic. She doesn't think twice about it. She just does it because that's just the person that she is.
Yeah, she's an incredible human, and I'm just so grateful for her. And she's the one that's encouraged me. Like you gotta get back to doing something. You can't just do work and father and husband. Like just you got to do your things, the little things that I like, right? The little things that I enjoy, and I think it's just so easy for, and I didn't even realize it, right? You don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, I mean, sometimes I guess you do, like you catch it and you're like, okay, but I really didn't like catch on to like the fact that I was like spiraling into like this sadness or, focusing on all these things that are happening, that I don't like, right?
Mm-hmm.
You focus on all the things you don't like. It's really easy to quickly start to hate different aspects of your life. And when that happens, it's just like, wow, this is hard. It's just hard to get out of. And so Courtney has been encouraging me, and I've been trying to do more of the things that I enjoy, right? I like to play my guitar, for example, right? I hadn't picked up my guitar and played in I don't know how long, right? I hadn't even really played with my RC cars. And you know how much RC means to me. That's like
at your other world other than Podcastland.
Yeah, not doing that is rough. Yeah. So
it's easy to just get sucked into, because I mean, I feel like even that happened with me where I focused on like example with the house, and I'm in that right now where I think I've always worried about money. That's just the person that I am. And
I think most people worry about money. I think I really do. I think people that don't have it and people that do have it, I think people worry about it. People worry about money.
The most cruddiest yet stupidest thing to worry about, I think. And honestly, this past starting from Friday, I just kind of was thinking on the way to work, and I did. Because when I drive to work, I don't listen to the radio or anything. I'm just kind of stuck in my own head, But I just had like an epiphany where I'm driving and in thinking of the book, The Secret, I started thinking.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Rio came into the room. He's on the mic, so I'm sure you guys can hear him breathing.
Oh, awesome.
I'll send photos because I took one. But
we want to see Rio.
Y'all want to see Rio? But driving to work, and I just had an epiphany of like, I'm over here thinking about all the negative things of like things that haven't even happened, where I'm thinking like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to pay my electricity bill, and they're going to shut the electricity off.
Exactly. That was me. Same thing. And it's worrying about the stuff that hasn't happened.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking about it. And then I had to stop and think like, Audrey, you got Marcelo. Like Marcelo's not going to let that happen. Like we're a team. And then also I had to stop and think, why are you thinking of like the worst possible situation instead of being thankful for, oh my gosh, I got a house.
Yeah,
oh my God,
corrective perspective.
I have a 3-bedroom, 2-story house. I got a healthy dog. I have an amazing relationship, an amazing boyfriend, you know, and there's food in the fridge.
An amazing older brother. Yeah,
And
I
a
think.
great older brother who honestly helped out with the house a lot.
Did I say that out loud? Did I say that? I'm just not kidding.
So what?
I'm totally joking. But no, that's the thing. Like, I wish I had done that sooner, like what you did, right? Like, that's,
Yeah.
I should have been able to do that.
But it's hard. It's really hard. I feel like that I've always had that. I feel I truly don't stress out about work too much. I feel like I always say I stress out, but honestly it's like I know that I can turn that off if I want to, but one thing it's really hard to turn off is stressing about like finances and stuff. And yeah, it happened, and it started to get into other things because then it started small arguments between Marcelo and I because Marcelo, you know, he wants to get certain things done to the house, and I'm over here freaking out about money. So I was like the negative Nancy of like, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. But I'm like killing his dreams because he's not talking about doing him right this second. He's talking about in the future. And I'm over here smashing and destroying that dream and saying, no, we can't do that. Like,
Nice. You're like the killjoy.
yeah, that's exactly. So me and my friend Juan, shout out to Juan if he's listening. We have a word called sober snapper, and I was sober snapping.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense. Poor Marcelo.
So
But
I kind of changed
you've
that
snapped out of
perspective.
that, right? Hopefully.
I did. It was on Friday. I don't know what happened. I didn't like read the book The Secret, but it just kind of popped in where there's like a secret too. I don't know if you saw. There was a good movie. Marcel and I had watched it like a month or two back, and they were saying like if you just focus on, you have to change your perspective, right? So instead of saying like I want more money, or I want a relationship, or I want this, I want that, your mindset is already messed up. It's you need to be thankful for the things that you have right now.
Amen.
Because
Amen.
then by law of attraction, the things that you quote want are going to automatically gravitate to you because you're already thankful for the things that you have.
It's weird. It's like working out, right? And I think I've kind of said this before, but whatever muscles you work out, that's what's going to grow.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing in our mental strengths, if you will, and our mental health. I think that the difference is with our mental health, it doesn't matter what we're doing mentally. That's what's growing, right? And that's what, like, to your point, that's what we're attracting. And if you're not stopping the negative thoughts, then that's what's going to grow. It doesn't just, you don't just find yourself like, it doesn't plateau, right? It's not like,
Yep.
oh, I can just be here and you're going to go in one direction or the other.
Yep. It's like you're on a teeter-totter, like you're going back and forth.
Right,
That's
right.
how I see it.
Right.
There is no standing in the middle. There's no balancing.
It's like if you're in an airplane, you're either nose up or nose down. It's not, you're either climbing or you're going down. And I kind of feel like that's what you're saying. Like, that's how it was for me, at least recently. I was nose down. And even if it's just ever so slightly, right? Like just a little, it's gonna, over time, you're gonna get further down. Or if you can just get your nose, if you can be nose up just ever so slightly, over time you're gonna be even higher. So it's interesting.
It's crazy because like that's how it all starts, is one simple thing, and then it goes into like this snowball effect, and then you feel like you can't get out of it. And that's what on Friday morning I had to remind myself, like, just think of one thing that you're grateful for today, like the smallest thing that you could be grateful for.
Yes.
First thing I said, I was like, I don't need to eat out for lunch at work because I have a whole fridge that's full of food. And so like that one thought, that one idea, it sparked something, and now I'm not buying lunch at work. I've been packing a lunch, and I know that sounds really dumb and stupid, or not dumb and stupid, but it just sounds like, oh, okay, I'm just packing a lunch. But for me, that's saving me like $80 a week. That could be going towards that electricity bill that I, magically in my head, thought was going to just randomly shut off because I couldn't afford a $40 electric bill.
I get it.
That didn't even happen, but that's just what it's just taking small changes. And I also noticed too that I kind of took a slump when, one, we weren't doing the podcast because I feel like the podcast is something that's very therapeutic for me. And
It
two, because of working and trying to adjust to like a new schedule. And of course, I want to like impress my boss and get everything done now that I was staying at work later and I wasn't going to the gym. I think that's honestly what affected me the most, was that I didn't make time. I didn't make going to the gym a priority, and I should have.
Yeah, you weren't taking care of you, right?
Yeah.
You were focused on taking care of the things around you. And
yes.
I do that, right? And when you do that, when your focus is entirely on your things around you, then your happiness has now become circumstantial.
Yeah.
And man, I'm so guilty of that. And whew, man, just talking with you right now, I am like, how do I make this up to Courtney? This poor woman. And my kids, because I have not been. Now, I don't want to paint like a picture like of me just being like a total stick in the mud for the past. How many days has it been since 100 days? But it's not been like that. Okay, I'm not like, I've been walking around like head down, crying and stuff. It's not been like that, but it has been like rough, right? And I haven't been. It's hard. I mean, you can't fake. Well, I guess maybe you can, but not for very long. You can't fake it if your head's not in it, right? If your head's not in the game, it's hard to fake it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure people even that I work with have, picked up on it, right? Like, but it hasn't been like super bad, but bad enough to where I'm like, I'm so glad that I've been able to kind of, again, I'm nose up, right? I'm nose up. Am I fantastic all the time, 24/7? No, but I'm just glad that I was able to kind of make that tweak. And I don't know if I shared ever. I know that like I used to really be on like, medication, and I am not on any medication whatsoever at all. And it's a big accomplishment for me to be able to make that correction, right? Correct my perspective and do so without any medication. And I'm not saying that because I want to make medication sound bad. I think that there's a lot of benefits to medication. I'm just saying for me, it was a big deal that I could do it without it. And I'm just grateful for that. So, and I definitely got to do something for Courtney to make it up to her.
So to the listeners, please feel free to give Nick some ideas, send us some DMs. I'll be on the Instagram again.
Yeah, because flowers aren't going to work. And I'm glad you brought up social media, because I think I owe a lot of, not a lot. It makes it sound like I got a bunch of people like messaging me, because I don't.
It was like 2 people, and one of them was me, guys. No, I'm kidding.
It's true, but I got a new phone. I don't know, probably 2 or 3 months ago now, and I haven't put any social media on it. So, if there is anyone that sent me anything, I promise you I'm not being a jerk. I haven't checked it. I haven't been on social media. So I did just the other day download Facebook Messenger, and I didn't know you could do that. I thought I had to have Facebook and then Facebook Messenger.
I thought you do. I don't know Facebook, so I'm not that good.
Well, I don't. So I downloaded Facebook Messenger, and I happened to catch a couple of messages in there, and I wanted to just make a couple mentions, right? Our good friend Sean Rusin.
Yep.
He had a message in there to both of us, actually, to the Stretch It Out Podcast Facebook page. And
nice. I think I saw that briefly. I didn't know if I dreamt that.
Nope, that was really him. Yeah.
That was real life. Okay.
Yeah. So so I was able to respond to him, but it was really kind. He was just checking in. He was like, "Man, it's been really quiet, right?"
He's like, "Are you
And
guys alive still?"
yeah, right. But he was making sure I think it was around Thanksgiving. Dang, it's been a while. But so he was like, hope you guys are doing well and stuff. So Sean, thank you so much. But then he also mentioned that he's going to be starting a podcast. So I'm really excited about that.
What?
Yeah,
That's
he's going to be
dope.
starting a podcast with a friend of his. It'll be an RC podcast, so I'm going to be listening. And it's going to be called the Missing Link RC podcast, I believe. So shout out to Sean.
That's dope.
Yeah, much love to you, Sean, man, and that's going to be awesome fun. So I can't wait to tune in and check out the podcast. Sean's he's doing exactly what we're doing, right? He is a kind individual, and he's definitely got that corrective perspective going on. So thanks, Sean. I also had a really cool message from Keenan. Remember
Yeah.
Lefty the Great?
Lefty. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. He had sent me a message, checking in, and so shout out to Keenan. He's actually, man, he's doing great things with the No Name RC podcast. Still, in my opinion, one of the best podcasts on the planet. I've learned so much from listening to that podcast. It's ridiculous. But yeah, thank you, Keenan. Shout out to you, man. We need to get him back on. He actually messaged me a while back. He's like, man, I'm ready to come back on the podcast and just hang out. So that'll be a good time. Yeah, so had a couple of messages there. Another message that I had was actually from a really good friend of mine from, I don't know if you ever got to meet him, but Andy, I don't know if he goes by Andrew now because we're like older. But Andy or Andrew,
the name changes.
Andy or Andrew Adams, they played in a band for a while back in the day. The band name was Clouds Turn Black, I think it was. I don't know. Do you remember that?
I do not. I don't know.
Well, now they're in a band. Now they still play. I think it's The Long Silence. But he's probably one of the the guy is like a god on guitar, and he always has been. So, but he sent me a real kind message too. So shout out to you, Andy. I don't think he listens to the podcast. I don't know. Maybe he does, but it doesn't matter. He's a good dude. And he was a really good friend of mine. We were a lot closer when we were younger, but it was cool that he was able to shoot me a note just to let me know he was thinking about me. So thank you for that. Awesome. I know I kind of just like went into our shouted out segment, and I forgot that we had that cool little shouted out segment music.
Well, it's okay because it's been 100 days, so
it really has been. Yeah, it really has been.
Just gotta turn it, a little bit.
So. Yeah, I bought a brand new mic right after we recorded the last episode. And I was worried. It's funny because I was worried I wasn't going to get it in time for the next episode. And it did. It took a while for me to get it because they were like sold out everywhere. And I finally got it, and I haven't been able to use it for I don't know.
So it's a
months now.
It's 100-year-old new mic that Nick is using tonight.
Yeah, I purchased it last year, and I'm using it this year for the first time. So I purchased the mic in 2020, and I'm using it for the first time in 2021. And I think it sounds good, right? But I guess we'll find out when
we'll have to. I mean, you sound good right now
on the playback. Yeah.
I want to give another shout out though to your friend Danny.
Oh yes, Danny. I'm so glad you brought Danny up because he is such a good man. And thank you for that.
I love the meme that he put up there. That's one of my favorite memes.
Yeah. So in case, now he's gonna be weirded out. Yeah, I did snap a picture of what you sent, Danny, and send it to my baby sis. Because
hey, Danny, why are you talking crap on who is this? No, kidding.
No, he's a good man. He's a great human being. So shout out to you, Danny. Yeah, that was cool. That was super kind of him. And I tried to express that in words. It's so hard to do,
Yeah.
right? When someone sends you something like that, like,
Honestly,
hey, that's cool.
when you sent me that like that instantly just like kind of, it didn't just spark the flame, like it was
Yeah.
gasoline on a bonfire pit where I was like, okay,
Yeah.
we need to do a podcast. We need to set a date on, because Nick and I have been struggling. It's like, okay, let's do it on Friday nights. And then Friday nights come along. I'm the worst with Friday nights because I come home and Marcella kind of tells me, oh, we're going to some party or something. We're going to someone's house. And I'm like, ugh. So
The life of a rock star. The
not
life of
even.
a rock star.
More like, we got to save money. And then we're like, okay, we're gonna do it Saturday, and every weekend Saturdays are like the days to do something new in the house, whether it's paint a room or clean the floor. You know, we've been doing a lot of stuff. And then Sundays are typically, I'm exhausted by that. I don't want to do anything. But this past Sunday, we had friends come over, and so when I saw that message, I kept thinking like, God, we keep pushing this day. And then that's when I was like, okay, I work out Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm like, Tuesdays, hopefully Nick doesn't have to take the kids anywhere to like soccer practice or football, whatever it is, you know? But I was like, please, I hope he's free on Tuesdays, and I will leave work early on Tuesdays because it's a Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah, I think Tuesdays are going to work. Like I said, it's later than I prefer because I like to be in bed reading a book by preferably between 8 and 8:30. But Podcastland is awesome. So
yeah.
definitely worth it. And it's only 9:05 here, so I'm still good. I feel like I got a little gas in the tank left in me, so we can take this to an hour if you'd like. I'm just kidding. We can't do that.
2 hours. But
yeah.
sorry, reverting back to Danny, I feel like I went on a tangent there. I do that a lot.
Yeah, let's get back to Danny. Let's get back to Danny.
Danny. Relit the flame. How's it going? Because I don't get things like that from my friends. They don't listen to the podcast, which is totally fine by me, because then it's truly, I am just speaking to myself, and half the people don't know who I am, so that's okay. It really gives me more freedom to say what I want without any judgment.
You're always free to say what you want.
But no, like just hearing like people reaching out to you all the time, and when they say things like that, I'm like, holy cow, like people actually listen to what we have to say. And even if it's just joking around, you know, with our little secret words and things like that. But
well, it's nice to know. We all want to be appreciated, right? Everybody does.
yeah,
But it's nice to know that maybe that we're doing something to, even if it's just 30 minutes of positive vibes, right? Which I think I did a terrible job of in this episode, but we're gonna bounce back, right?
no,
I'm nose up, right? I'm nose up. I'm getting there.
you can't always be positive though. And it's okay to not always be positive.
See,
Just
there
be
it
able
is.
to
See, this is why you're on the podcast.
Yeah, just pull yourself out of it. If you stay in it for too long, then yes, now there is something wrong. But it's okay to just have like a cruddy day of like, God, I hate everything right now. But as long as it's in that moment and you're not carrying it over into the next.
And it does happen, right? And that's the thing is, it really does happen, and it sucks, and it happens to all of us.
Yeah.
And it's good to have people that we can count on to pick us up. I know not everybody has a Courtney, right? But you've got a friend, you've got another family member. I know that I truly do want to be that friend to my friends, you know, especially in a time of need. I want to be someone that they can count on. So, you know, lean on those people, right? Like, don't be afraid to talk it out. I think sometimes just doing that is, game changing, right? Just, it helps if nothing else, it helps you get nose up a little, even if it's just a tiny little bit.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Even the smallest bit of movements, ideas, it can take you a lot further than you think.
Yeah, big time. So there's a lot of, I know there's a lot of people right now that are out of work.
Still, yeah.
And, you know, I want to just, I guess, put a shout out there to you all, and, you know, keep your head up, keep thinking positive thoughts, like Audrey was saying. Make sure we're working out the positive, the corrective perspective muscles, if you will, in the brain, and you're going to be fine, right? There's so many people in that boat right now, and hopefully you're able to find peace and even joy, in these times, and just know that I'm praying for you guys and gals that are in that boat right now. I know it's a scary place, but what else did we have? I know we're like way over the 30-minute mark, and like I said, I'm usually asleep by this time, so I'm getting a little.
Nick is now
What do they
sleep
call it?
talking.
Delirious?
Yeah, delirious.
Yeah. Where am I? Yeah.
Lack of sleep. I'm in my closet. What?
I am in my closet, and it's actually really hot in here. It's super cold here, and we're in Texas, it's like really cold right now, which is it's only cold. It's only this cold in Texas, or at least in Houston. It's only this cold in Houston, Texas, from my experience here. I've only been here for 7 years, for like 48 hours a year, so it's not like a huge deal, but it's really cold, and so we have the heater kind of on blast, and I'm in this tiny little closet. And it works really well in here, the heater. So.
Nick needs a space heater.
No, I need air conditioning. I'm burning up in here. Like, I'm roasting like a toasted cheeser in here.
I'm opposite. I'm over here freezing. But I like 95-degree weather, so that's a good day for me.
Yeah, I like it warm, but not this warm. So anything else? Anything else before we...
If I can lead off with any message, like if you walk away from this podcast with anything as you go into work or something, or just be grateful for what you do have.
Yes.
Tonight.
Yes. Thank you for that reminder. I am grateful. So I'm grateful for you, baby sis.
I'm grateful for you, bro.
I'm grateful for our time together. We've got to figure out how to get Alyssa on here.
I know, and Alyssa's moving to like Ohio or Idaho. I always get
so she's gonna have to get on, because then it's like bam, like we can finally expand our Stretch It Out podcast and get Alyssa on too. She gets off
work at like 7, I think, too.
Wow. So yeah, we'll get there. You know, Nick? What I mean?
No, you're gonna have to push that 9 p.m. to a little later.
We'll get there. I think we got to figure that out, though, because I think that would be awesome. So
yeah, that would be dope.
Yeah. So I think I'm good. I don't know if you had anything else.
Nope. That's it. Be grateful, my friends.
Yeah. I don't think I have like... Oh, yeah. No, I won't talk about that on this episode, but we got some cool stuff coming for the podcast that I think is exciting. But yeah, Audrey's going to be scatting a lot more, so prepare yourselves for that.
This is a one-night thing, guys. I too am delirious.
Yeah, no, not a one-night thing. I think that the listeners, I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of requests pouring in for the scatting. So just make sure you can bring it next time. That's all I'm saying. Make sure you can bring it. And yes, we are going to record again next week. So sorry about the, what do you call that? Like the hiatus? Like we were just out, like just peace. I probably said something in the last episode, like, all right, see you guys next week.
It never happened. Yeah. I think we did like a, what do they call them? Like an Irish exit, like at a party, where like nobody, they say like, oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and they just don't come back. I feel like that's what we did. We did an Irish exit.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with that. I never do that. So, and I'm saying that because I know some of the people from the MFB crew know that is a bold-faced lie. All right. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out with me, baby sis.
Thank you. Thanks.
We'll catch you all on the flip. We'll catch you guys next week, I promise.
Yes. On Tuesday.